Hello, beautiful, and welcome to the Desire More Show with me, More Yelvington of Morph, Transform Your Reality, where I help you step out of trauma and reclaim your power, feel safe and seen in your body, and bring awareness to those places that maybe you're trying to hide from yourself. So if this is the first time you're watching me live, welcome to my show. I'm so happy that you're here. I typically bring on guests and facilitate them on the things that they truly desire. So if you're watching the show and you have some stuff coming up and you want to dissect it and remove it energetically so you can create and bring more into your life, then please press the join button and I would love to have you. If you want to contemplate this a little bit longer, I have a link in my bio so you can just go sign up, and I'll see you here next Friday, 8:30. So, welcome. I'm going to share with you some personal stuff I'm going through because it might share awareness for you and how you're dealing with things and what you're doing. The topic of the live is sarcasm and using it as a way to avoiding your truth and your feelings and emotions. And this was coming up really strong for me in this last couple of days. I'm dealing with a conflict with my husband, and it's been bringing up a lot of my childhood stuff. I know I shared about this before, but I think the more I can share with you about my personal life, the more awareness you can get about what is maybe things that are going on with you that you aren't seeing and you are avoiding. And so I'm going to be vulnerable so you don't have to, or so you can start being vulnerable. So first of all, my crystal of the day. I love my crystals. There's just something about when a crystal chooses you in the morning. I have this bowl of them and they're all over the house. So when I feel one calling, I'm just like, okay. So I would love to know if you have, crystals. What crystal do you use? What energy source are you tapping into when you're feeling like you need a little extra, pep in your step? Okay, so as I said, I'm having this conflict with my husband, and it started a few days ago, and he had to do something, and it made him miss some school event that was a big deal, in my opinion. And it really bothered me from a place of being a child that lost their father, and my dad wasn't there to be there for my milestones in my life, and that was a big trigger for me. And so I immediately realized the conversations in my head that I was going to have with him when he came home. And I was able to really being aware of all those sarcastic sentences that were going through my head. And I realized that every sentence that was going through my head was dipped in sarcasm and had these amazing, digs that could really stir the pot. And the more I was aware of these thoughts that were going through my head, the more I realized that there's a lot underneath that I'm not looking at. And I realized that it's so easy to throw stones at the other person and blame the other person. But it's a lot harder to go deep and look at where are you coming from and what is the pain that's coming up for you, and actually being with that pain and actually feeling not seen, feeling not heard, feeling alone in your body, even though you're surrounded by children and noise and family, still feeling alone. And those feelings and that situation just brought a lot of that stuff up for me. And I realized that I could go the sarcastic way and I could say these painful sentences and I can do the little digs and the little things that I know that are going to make him all mad. But I realized that's not going to get me drop the crystal. That's not going to give me the result that I desire to have. That's not going to give me the comfort that my inner child needed. So, and I'm getting emotional because it's emotional. It's hard to tune into your inner child. It's hard to really bring up and connect to those emotions, those feelings that you've hidden from yourself for so long. And that's the thing about this emotional roller coaster when you go on a soul journey, is that you don't know when this stuff is going to come up. You don't know when the emotions are going to arise. You don't know when your body is going to like turn on the alarm system and the nervous system is going to shut down. We don't know. But if we can be prepared, if we can be aware, if we can have some tools to really help us, and that's why I'm working on something that I'm so excited to share with you. It's not ready yet, so I'm not going to share it, but if you stay tuned, next couple of weeks it's going to come out, and I think it's really going to elevate like rapid relief systems for your emotional systems, for your emotions, for your feelings. I just can't wait to share with you. But back to my story. So I was watching the kids in the pool, sitting and kind of stirring in my own juices, becoming more and more aware of the thoughts and feelings going through my head. And really, sorry, there's like a giant bald eagle that just is crossing my window. Oh my gosh. Okay, sorry. So, stirring my emotions, kind of witnessing what's coming up for me, witnessing what's going on, just letting it run its course, becoming more and more aware of those thoughts that are going through my head, the sarcasm, being really aware how that's really made to push away. It's really made to deflect. And I know a lot of us, we have this sarcastic sense of humor, and this is not what I'm talking about specifically. I'm talking about when we use sarcasm to protect our hearts, to avoid our truth, to avoid our pain by throwing stones at someone else. And when we use sarcasm in that way, we're actually using our pain to hurt somebody else instead of actually tuning into our own pain. Instead of actually tuning into how we're really feeling, into our emotions, we are throwing the stones and trying to avoid dealing with our pain. So I, in the first time in my life, was able to sit, not in the first time because this is the process I've been doing, but with this specific situation, was able to sit down and be aware of what is it that's coming up for me. And so when I realized that my feelings that were hurt was that I wasn't heard, that I wasn't seen, and I realized it was related to the past experiences and traumas I've had in my life, and that's what was actually coming up. Because when you break out a situation, and this is the thing, okay, I'm going to give you some gold when you're dealing with a partner or with a spouse. They have no idea where your head is at. And my husband's head, he chose to do something else and go do something else, and that was it. So he has no idea what's going on through with me. It's all internal. And if I don't internalize it for myself, and if I don't bring the awareness, and if I don't connect the dots, and it's really hard to do without the tools that we've got, and without the awareness, if I don't do that work for me, he is going to think that I'm some crazy person, right? Like, what? You are so mad because I missed the school event? How is that even a thing? In his world, that is not a thing. Okay, and so that's why we need to understand that when we have our children and our partners and our parents, and we are stewing and stirring in our own stuff and not actually dealing with it, the other person has no idea what you're going through. And I know this is so true for children. You know how they say, like, they throw tantrums and there's always something underneath. Well, this is the same with adults. But our tantrums are different. Our tantrums are anxiety attacks. Our tantrums are sarcasm. Our tantrums are, exploding and leaving and I'm not coming back, right? Those are our tantrums. So those tantrums are coming from your inner child. Those tantrums, those reactions are coming from the little kid inside of you, the teenager inside of you, that experienced trauma. And that trauma wants to come out and wants to heal. And these situations trigger you because these are exactly the places that are keeping you stuck and keeping you in the place where you don't want to be, right? These are the feelings and emotions that come up that when you look back and you're like, I wish I never said that. I wish I didn't send that text. I wish I didn't act that way. I wish I didn't walk out, right? It's when the emotions take over and we're out of the picture. Our power isn't there and there's nobody to talk to. And that's when we come back to us when we're like, I was not acting like myself. And you weren't, because you aren't the trauma. You aren't the emotions. Okay, that's why it's so important to heal from the inside and to clear that stuff so you're not triggered and you can be more of you and not live in the past. And I keep saying this over and over again, but that's the truth. Because when you are reacting from your past, you're living in the past. And that's not your partner's fault. It's not your children's fault. You know, it's not your parents' fault. I mean, maybe it is your fault that you have all this trauma, but no parent is perfect. I did realize that the only thing that we can really change is us. And so by doing this soul journey and this soul work, right, we're doing us. And every day is new, and it brings out its new nuances and its new messages. And the more we can be aware, the clearer we can get on what we're going to do. So the thing is what I realized with me was that I wasn't ready to talk about it. I wasn't ready to solve the conflict because I'm still processing it within me. And so my husband came home late. We haven't really, conversed. He realized that there's stuff going on, that I'm not being myself, that I'm a lot quieter than normal. And it's not like I'm giving him the quiet treatment. I was just really clear, like, I don't know what to say right now. I don't know what words to use. I don't want to say anything that is going to hurt anybody's feelings. I'm processing. And by being able to say that and stand in my truth without hurting him, even though I was hurt subconsciously, and so, right? And being able to just take the time and say, like, okay, this is what's going on. I'm processing this. I'll talk about it with you when I'm ready. And that's it. That's it. That allows me to take the time for me. It allows me to process. It allows me to journal. It allows me to dissect. It allows me to tune into what is true for me and then bring it to the table with an open heart, talking from a place of truth, talking from a place of hurt, talking from my pain so he can understand where I'm coming from and what's going on with me. And it also is going to empower him to know that I'm not just going to throw stones at him, right, when it's not his fault, quote unquote. But it would also allow him to see things in a different light. And because we are in a relationship, in a partnership, in a creationship, he's going to be able to be more aware that, like, maybe these events, he needs to show up for them, for me to feel more safe. Or maybe it could be more of an effort, right? We can come to the table with better awareness when we are both on the same page. So how many times in your life were you going through this roller coaster of emotions and having all the past stuff come up for you and you took it out on your partner? You use sarcasm, you throw the diggers, you throw the stones, and you're not being yourself, and then you regret it, right? And so how much have you actually lost to sarcasm? And how much of sarcasm are you using to really, protect yourself, to not having to dive and go deep, to not be vulnerable? I almost saw it like sarcasm is this jail that we use, right? It's like a block that we're like, no, me, right? Well, I'm gonna, right? So when we use that and the energy of that, it's super deflective. It's super avoidance, but there's definitely pain behind it. And we don't want to hurt anybody from our hurt space. I know they say, like, hurt people hurt other people's. In my opinion, hurt people heal other people's. And hurt people have the capacity to heal themselves and to be aware that they're hurt and still heal it and still choose something different and choose not to hurt others. A lot of times when we do, we're not aware of it. We're not being ourselves. So how much more of you can you bring to the table? How much more of you can you show and be vulnerable? How much more of you can you step into so you don't have to let that past activate? We all have a past. We all have our traumas. I don't think you can live in this reality of today without having something in the background, without having programs running in the background, without having fears and beliefs and judgments and experiences that made you less of you. And the only way for you to be really fulfilled and happy in this lifetime is when you tune into these situations, when you realize that they're keeping you stuck, when you are aware that they're sucking you down, that you're literally sucking your soul into this stuff, right? It's sucking your energy, it's sucking your soul. When you can be aware of that and you can step out of it and you can start being aware and you can use the tools and you can have clarity and you can have coherence and you can be in tune with your body, I call it the diamond effect, the diamond status of you. And I truly believe that that's what we came here to be. We came here to be happy. We came here to feel fulfilled. We came here to feel like every day is a miracle, is magical, has the potential to create everything that you want. So why not claim it? Why not step into it? Why not be it? Why not create the life that you truly desire? So just get the energy of all of that, because I know that if you're listening to this, you are listening to it for a reason. You're open to this message and you're receiving it. So just really receive and start being aware. I promise that if you start being aware and open and vulnerable with your thoughts, with your feelings, with your emotions, you're going to create so much more space for you to step into that diamond status. So thank you so much for tuning in. Again, if you want to join my show, there's a link in the bio. Just register or ask to join the live. I would love to have you. I can't wait to share with you my super excited thing that I'm working on. I'm really excited about it because I really feel like it will really help elevate your emotional relief game. It's going to be amazing, I promise. And if this was a contribution, please share, love, comment, add. I would love to know if you've ever dealt with anything like this, if what is triggering you, what's coming up for you. If you need more support, feel free to book a free consultation. I would love to work with you through the stuff that you're going through and help you process it, release it, so you can step into your diamond status. Have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you next Monday. Bye.